Hello everybody and welcome to another Grand Arena prep video where I'm going to be going over how I think through splitting up my roster for 3v3, what I put on offense, what I put on defense. And I just want to complain for a second about skill switch. I know I've complained about it before, but I'm like right now ranked pretty high and I'm only a few losses away from getting booted out of Kyber 1. Right now, 95. That's going to go up, or that number is going to go up because people still have to join. We got about 12 hours or so until Territory Warlocks. But, like, these numbers, these top numbers used to be like 4,600, and now it's like, I remember I used to be comfortably above 4,000 in rating, and now it's like only 2 people in the world right now are above 4,000. It's a joke. It needs to be corrected. But anyway, I digress. Time to look at my defense first this time, switching it up from the usual offense first. So I'm going to take a break away from looking at my graphic, explaining my strategy, and just go over my datacron transition setup, because it's always kind of hard to start every other 3v3 match when you lose one set of datacrons and then get another one, which you had to scramble to get as many as you could before it starts. And I'm just going to go over how I'm using that new set and how I'm changing up my defense from the last set. So a few things haven't changed. CLS, still on defense, still the same datacron. This has really improved CLS, even in 3v3. Iden is a possibility to beat it, but it is risky. So if someone tries that and fails, that's just thumbs up for me. Otherwise, it's pretty hard. I prefer to use Darth Revan against it. So I said it. And this is something I learned from Kin in one of our Grand Arena zones a while ago, a month and a half ago or something. I finally unlocked Zori, but I don't have Finn lead Zeta yet. I was just barely able to get both her Zetas. And the Omicron's not going to really do anything under Rey, but this is still a really difficult team to deal with. And I do have our Zori datacron, but that's not going to really do much here either. I prefer to have my crit avoidance and crit chance datacron. Health recovery works well. It's got great stats. This is the same datacron I used in 5v5. It shouldn't trip a lot of people up. That I don't know if Starkiller can beat this. It's going to cause problems with Zora being stealthed all the time and giving an extra turn to Rey really quick. Just a really strong team, and I'm excited to see how it is. However, once I get Finn lead Zeta, which should be for next round, I'm probably going to switch that up. Next, I have Hondo still on defense. I don't know how he's going to do, but I still want to use him. He has an Omicron, he's R7. I think under ban, and then with L3 for some protection, he has a chance to get going, get ramped up, and it still causes a lot of problems for people that might underestimate him. We'll go down here. And this bonus doesn't do much. I mean, he does target people from time to time with his second special, but I don't have high hopes for this. It's just I don't know what to do with him. Maybe I should take him on offense, but he's someone I don't really like on offense because when he wins, he usually is alone. It's bad banners. Darth Vader. I don't really think I want to use him with Lord Vader, but they have the dot datacron back, which is great. That's one of the level 3s I missed the most. And then when I got rid of Sit 5, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do with like Darth Vader and Wampa? This is the same lineup as before. I think this is probably more impactful than the tank revive or the turn meter, possibly, because it'll make Vader a lot more survivable. These stats are kind of crap, but I just think the stats are crap on Sit 6 in general. There's only a few good ones. Unfortunately, this one got mostly bad ones, but the protection up should help. And I have another protection up datacron, but I'm saving it for others. You get a little extra damage with the debuffs. On gas, I definitely want gas on defense. That might change, but yeah, he's something you gotta contend with. So I like to put him on the front wall. You gotta make the hard choice whether you want to use Galactic Legend or just I don't know, use Star Killer, or use something that's gonna be expensive. I wish this was a protection boost, and it's hard for me to use a lot of health on General Skywalker, but I picked this mainly for the armor and the defense penetration, and the tenacity can help. It's not the front wall. I'm trying to put stuff that they have to guess on or make a hard decision to use something expensive. I'm going to look at the top wall first of all before the back, because this is what opponents see and you want to think about what you place here. Radis, you know, I don't know how he's going to do. He did get some holds for me in 3v3 last time, so hopefully that changes. I feel more comfortable with Qui-Gon in 3v3 because the optimal lineup is more affordable. These two always go with him. This level 3 isn't doing much, but I picked this datacron because of arm penetration. High tenacity might do something, or it can help against bad batch, prevent all those stuns that are killer, and good health. So this is a great datacron for them, and they have so much in the way of damage going on already for this team. Qui-Gon gives a big boost to offense, so does Ki-Adi-Mundi. I have Anakin modded for crit damage, so they've got all those parts of the equation. But then when you add armor penetration too, that's another massive boost, and Anakin has higher than normal armor penetration. This is a pretty high number. I don't know how it exactly translates over to actual damage, but he's got everything going for him. He's got high offense, he's got extra crit damage, 222%, and then also the armor penetration. So if you get some hits off, it's gonna be pretty massive. Jabba, with the Afro datacron gone, I feel kind of safe to set Jabba. The best counter for him is JMK, so that's a good draw. If they see Jabba on the front, they have to decide whether to use JMK on Rey possibly, or have a uphill battle against Jabba. Maybe Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's the best, or a good option too, but we'll see. I don't have super great level 3 and level 6 for him. I don't feel super amazing, but this will do something. The debuffs inflicted by Boosh, she does the most debuffs, so that's going to be a lot of damage. And then Jabba's the only smuggler, but he's going to be getting extra turn meter from those expirations, so it should supercharge his speed a little bit. It's got resistance. That actually kind of helps a lot against JMK, because Cat does special damage, and they don't have revive prevention anymore. So Cat and Mace are the best counter. So yeah, they both do special damage, so that might do something. And then tenacity, a little bit of health and potency. So there's no wasted stats on that team. General Grievous and Dr. Aphra. Aphra, as I just mentioned, her datacron expired, but I have a pretty good replacement that I'm kind of happy about. So this is a level 9, but it was all potency before I got level 9. So this was no rerolls on the stats. And then I spent the rerolls trying to make it a droidcron. And once I made it a droidcron, I leveled it up to level 9 so I could keep rerolling the level 6 and get the one I wanted. I got target lock, and I don't know if I should use this on like Grievous instead. I mean, it's hard to say, but she gains so much from potency that affects a lot of other stats. And then this target lock thing that's going to cause extra turn meter and protection recovery. I'm just excited to see how it does on defense, and I'm leaving it on defense because I'm not sure what I'd do with it on offense right now. So for the moment, that's my experiment. And then General Grievous, he has the same thing, got another target lock one. And these stats are kind of befitting to him. Lots of extra health, 45%. That's a great health. This is a great datacron. The 77% potency, 36% armor pen, some armor. Really happy about that one for Grievous. I did use B1 instead because I'm hoping that I get some target locks out there, and B1 is more suitable to get the train going as opposed to like Magna Guard with the tank revive DC. But I don't know. This could be just a fail where Wampa just solos it. Yeah, I don't know. We have yet to see. Yeah, so that's the top wall, showing them things they know they need to contend with and factor into their decision bottom. The biggest being Jabba and Aphra as decisions to be made. And then down here, you can see Trench, and I just want to try out Trench on defense. I don't have his level 7, level 9 yet, and I want to get it, but I can't reroll yet. As soon as I get a chance, I'm going to reroll this. If I get Trench's level 9, I'll take him to R7, and then he should have a lot more potential. But I already have the good level 6 one that I talked about in my datacron review. Riposte is going to be kind of crazy. He calls them all to assist. Django with Riposte is going to be hitting pretty hard. This team is going to be a little tricky. It might be a little annoying. You're not going to want to use great stuff against it, and you're not going to be sure what to do in 3v3. So it might catch people off guard. And then offense stacking, they're definitely going to have plenty of buffs, and Django can ramp up. Stats, crit damage and protection are pretty great, actually. Accuracy is kind of a waste, and then health steal is it's okay sometimes, but for that team, I don't really think it's doing much. Sortie, she is still great in 3v3, and I'm trying to get myself out of the way. Read all this. Yeah, I don't like this level 3. I wish I could re-roll it, but the cost is too high, and I couldn't get to it. Retribution, I love that for this team because a problem with it is making sure you get off the ground. And if they're doing counterattacks, they're going to get some extra damage out there and cause a lot of problems. And the Sortie Crown, of course, is great. T3 is giving the armor penetration for extra damage. IG11 is going to be annoying. Dispel debuffs from, I guess, just itself, since it's a scoundrel. But I got a lot of tenacity, good armor, and a lot of armor penetration. So the armor penetration with T3 spreading it should be good. Pretty annoying team. I definitely just don't think Wampa is going to take that out. Let me move it back here. And then JTR, since I didn't use her with Ray, putting her with this Finpo team, Resistance Hero Bros team should be good. The Retribution could cause a little bit of issues. But good armor penetration, good tenacity, good armor. This is actually a pretty high amount of stats spread out, and just a little bit of health to go to boot as well. And Malgus, of course, in the back. I want to keep Darth Revan, Bastila, and Malik for offense. I like using them on CLS, so that leaves me with these two. And it's not the best combo, but it's still something to contend with. I'm hoping people feel comfortable and try something tricky and fail, because it's not the best lineup, but it's still hard to contend with. Then Inquisitors, not sure how to use them, so I'm setting them on defense. Give them an unaligned Force User Cron with the damage immunity, so maybe they'll help out come into play. Got pretty good protection there too. I might switch up that datacron and keep it for JML, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I might use that on JML actually. Actually, since I don't have too many datacrons available, I want to save some for offense. I'm not going to have enough level 8s for offense. I'm just going to give them a lowly level 3 with extra potency and save some of the big guns for offense. See how we do there. Fleets, I'm going to change them probably. I just have to wait to see what my opponent usually sets. But the last round of 3v3, I had Executor on defense, but Profundity on offense. And I don't know. I kind of enjoy doing that and giving them something to worry about, but I don't think it's really going to trip anyone up at the rank I'm at now. Kind of higher than I normally am starting 3v3, so I'm a little antsy about it. But anyway, now to look at offense. Now to look at the offensive teams I have, and I feel like I have a lot of teams now, just with a few recent additions that kind of makes extra teams that I didn't have before. I mean, I got Afra recently, Trent's made his own little team. L3's in there, helping me get a lot of stuff. I have Santa available as a team. Just a lot of stuff coming in. And so, how do I pick offense? I usually select offense first and determine what I'm likely to face. But since it's a new datacron set, I'm kind of being more loose with it. And I just pick my defense based on teams that I could spare and wanted to set. You know, no classic offense teams on defense. But I like to keep a lot more Galactic Legends since I am an offense first player. And for Sprinkler Kylo, I'm not sure how I'm going to use him, but I know he's going to be important. I'll either give him the unaligned Force User datacron that's 100% more damage at full health protection, and also give him a lot of health steal, or I'll give him a high health armor penetration one I usually do. But I think he might go with armor and a tank or something. Maybe Lord Vader with a datacron. He would be a good counter to that. JML, if I have a lot of protection, there's a lot he can do. If I'm going against JMK, then this lineup would be Grandmaster Yoda and Revan, and then I'd be able to use JKL somewhere else. But it just depends. And then JMK, I don't feel safe putting him on defense. I'm either going to need him for like Reva or something, or Jabba for sure. Since I don't have Afra datacron, Jabba is an issue. I definitely want JMK for that. And Sith Eternal Sith Eternal, you can make good defensive comps with him, but they're kind of expensive, and I'm too chicken to not have him on offense. He's too great of a tool. Lord Vader, this is something I'm happy about. I'm happy he has his protection of datacron back, and I think it's better on offense than defense, because you can just cherry pick teams that maybe he can solo with all the extra protection, or he can take out raid teams, depending on the comp. But the trick is just to go fast on those matches. And depending who I face, I'm not sure what to do with Maul right now because I don't have the Canderous datacron anymore, and I feel like he is diminished without it, so I might put him with Lord Vader. Later in the season, I might put him with Lord Vader on defense. Who knows? Because that is definitely the hardest combo to beat. It is Maul with Royal Guard. But on offense, I might use Thrawn too. So I just have them both here, even though I obviously can't use both of them. It's going to be Lord Vader and Royal Guard for sure. Let's Starkiller. I basically never change this. Keep it classic. I set it on defense in 5v5 just a little bit, but it's just such a classic team. This is distilled down to the base form of Starkiller with only the two must-haves, in my opinion, on the team. Palpatine and Mara Jade. I do have the good unaligned Force User level 6 for them, but I don't have it at Mara Jade yet. Even though I spent 650 crystals to try to just do one reroll at level 9, and I missed out, so complete waste of 650 crystals. Can't believe I did it. I was kicking myself after. But we got a territory war today, so hopefully we win, and I get some rerolls for next round. And then Traya. I mean, I do want Traya on offense because I think she's just a great tool. I think it might be a little bit easier to pick her apart on defense in 3v3. But she might beat Reva because a lot of Reva's strengths lie in having the whole team available. If you could only have 3, you definitely want Grand Inquisitor, and then it's like, I don't know who else you want. Do you want 5th brother, 8th brother, or 7th sister? It depends. And even with the Death Mark, I think with all those debuffs, they won't be able to get through her in time, because if you don't have 7th sister, she's not assisting on Reva doing all that extra 50% damage. If you do have her, she's not as threatening as 8th brother or 5th brother with AoEs, so who knows? I don't know what Reeve's going to look like in 3v3, especially since that crazy Inquisitor datacron expired. But we will have to find out. You looked at this and you thought I had CLS here, didn't you? But no, this is Revan, Darth Revan. This is my specific CLS counter that I will prefer to use. I don't have extra turn meter anymore, but he's still pretty fast. How fast do I have him actually now? 342. I mean, it's high speed relative to just the player base, like as a whole, but at the top end, it's not like insanely fast. But I hope I still outrun CLS teams. I should anyway. And then this is going to be a fun team to use. I don't feel like I have a threatening enough datacron put this on defense anymore necessarily. Although I do have a great one. It's Smugglers. It's the 35% extra damage for stunning. And I've got a lot of armor penetration, health on that one. But that I would usually use for Supreme or Kylo, so I'm not sure what I'll do with that. But it's a great fun team to use on offense and can be vulnerable on defense if you know how to pick it apart. Gonna have a second Jedi team here, although like I talked about when I was looking at JML, it is yet to be determined what the actual lineup is, because if I take JML against JMK, I want Revan and Yoda on the team, which makes it hard to use Jedi on like the bottom front wall because I'm never sure how I'm gonna split them until I see the back wall. So that's just an interesting thing with Jedi. It's a very big faction, but it's getting limited now where I'm at, where I can only use 1 or 2, and sometimes I only use 1 Jedi team, other than like Qui-Gon defense, but it's kind of sad because it's such a great faction. And here's what I call, I think of in my head, it's kind of like the offense special teams. Like in football, it's like a team you put together for a specific purpose. Not pure offense or defense. Well, they're all offense, obviously, but okay, I'm going to give up on the football analogy, but special teams. Bad Batch, you're never going to use them on defense in this form. You might use them with Shock T, and that could be good, but they're too useful on offense. These 3, I usually always find a way to use them. Iden getting a little less use, but I don't know, maybe CLS is on the table. I feel uncomfortable doing it, but it's a great cleanup team if nothing else. And if there's Mon Mothma, it's pretty great for that too. Although I timed out, what did I time? I timed out in 5v5, and that was pretty sad. I have lost to Mon Mothma with him before, but every time it's been a surprise and a disappointment. And this Hux team, I love this team. This is the answer to some problems that just no other team can handle. If you got a really fast team on the other side and it's fragile and there's just one character you need to take out, this is the way to go. Otherwise, and it has decent survivability, but with no tanks in 3v3, it's kind of hard to say. But Hux can break away from Supreme Leader Kylo a lot of times in 3v3, and this team has come in handy a lot. I don't want it on defense, too easy to get around. And then Wampa, he's back. That's because of the protection up. Level 3 is just so integral to Wampa, and it makes me feel so much more comfortable with him against a variety of lineups, and especially in 3v3 where there's less on the other side to use. I'm excited to use Wampa a lot now. But since I have so many teams, I don't know. I'm going to have a lot of teams sitting on the bench. Probably Shakti will sit on the bench. I don't use, that's called backup clones. This is more like a cleanup team. Although sometimes I look up counters for a team, and this is surprisingly higher percentage than a lot of options. But not sure how I'll use it. It's also uncertain how I'll use Maul. As I already mentioned, looking at Lord Vader. Because recent stats are tainted by like the Cander's datacron, and they got a lot of boost from that scoundrel. The scoundrel level 6s. I might use an unaligned force user cron with Darth Maul or Maul. I don't have a ton of them, so we'll see. And then with 3v3, you can't have a full complement. Definitely not gonna work against Reva in 3v3 because it'd have to be Maul, Canderous, and Watt, and then there's no one tanking hits. It's just they're gonna go right at Canderous right away, and he's probably gonna go down. Or I don't know. I just don't think it would work. But you absolutely have to have Watt because Maul needs the weapon tech to make sure she can't come back. But yeah, I don't know. And Canderous is kind of flimsy. It doesn't seem like a good idea at all. And with bounty hunters, it's either going to be Fennec lead or Aura lead. Usually I use Fennec lead, and I don't know. I have Boba actually, so I didn't set him anywhere. So if I face a Lord Vader with the datacron, I think the team would be Fennec, Grief, and then Boba. And Boba, I think he should survive. If they don't have Maul, it'll be a lot easier. But you can just wait till they stack up dots, and then rocket them, and he's gone. But they do have trouble against the protection up datacron, but it can be done. Grief has a dispel on his second special, or his first special. Dispel all buffs on target enemy. So if you get Fennec up or Ramper offense enough and get enough armor shred, it can be done, but it's kind of an uphill battle. Imperial Troopers, I'm not sure how I'll use them. They no longer have their speed boost, so they've kind of fallen down from Grace, and we'll just have to see. In 5v5, I didn't use them much. Then Geonosians, they actually have potential for that datacron that gives you, what is it? I'm drawing a blank. A riposte? Because they're always attacking out of turn. But however, I don't know, I don't have super fast mods on them. It would be tricky to pick something. But they have a little bit of higher potential with Separatist datacrons. And if I roll like the Poggle one, I think I'd probably take them to R7 and then use this team somewhere. And this is just, I don't know how many, I think there's like 20 teams I have. But this is just everything left for offense. I didn't even show some stuff like Mon Mothma. This Padme is great against Grand Inquisitor, especially now without that datacron to buff them up. But however, he's going to be with Reva. People have Reva. It just depends. But this is a decent team. They get good damage from Courage. GK makes them very survivable. Then Santa, I named it Girl Power. I'm not sure how to use this. I don't want to put it on defense. It's just a sitting duck for so many teams. It gets destroyed by a lot of things. It's really disappointing. I thought it was supposed to be a good team, but it's a bit of a letdown. So that's it for this video. JC starts in 11 hours, 11 minutes. I am ready for it. I am excited for it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to thumb up and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a good one.